week I have inaugurated, I think almost 3 programs in a week with Saraswati Puja, with lighting match and lightning of matchstick is also a scientific. It is a science. You just cannot glow it doing this. Okay? So science is everywhere, technology is everywhere. So you need to understand it. You need to apply it for the benefit of society and for your own development, own progress. I want a very, very successful entrepreneurs through this sale. You are only in second year, you have a very good scope, very good chance to grow yourself within the college, so that when you complete your BE, you will be a very, very successful entrepreneur and you will come for the placements for the college students. Will you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable words. Now, most of you would be wondering, why are we here? What is entrepreneurship?
We have all gathered here to make every young mind think over the most leading concept of this generation, that is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a way of life which defines that spirit of working hard and effectively towards a goal, tackling problems and achieving maximum output. Entrepreneurship is often misunderstood as business. An entrepreneur does not work just for profits. An entrepreneur becomes successful when he brings about a change in the society and a change in the entire system. From our current scenario, it is quite obvious that the focus has shifted from government providing the jobs to the people themselves providing the jobs. This has given entrepreneurs and innovators a new hope for success. A plethora of schemes like Make in India, Mudra, Stand Up India have left no stones unturned for people who want to venture into entrepreneurship. At an economic growth rate of 7.9%, India is now one of the most profitable places for investment.
So, let us begin our today's session. Our today's guest is a serial social entrepreneur with more than 18 years of experience. He has set up the digital retail solution practice for Ogam and Datamatics. He is very passionate about rekindling the spirit of innovation and people and enabling them to solve social challenges. Through Reen Labs, he and his team are focused on partnering with individuals, organizations, as well as colleges of Navi Mumbai in their research, innovation, and incubation pursuits. He has raised 7 startups and has also raised $3 million in funding. Please welcome Mr. Saurabh Sinha sir with a huge round of applause. I would also request our principal, Dr. Manjusha Deshmukh ma'am, to felicitate our today's guest.
फोटो काढ दो. Sure.
Actually, I forgot to say something and I don't want to mess it up. I appreciate the efforts of all students associated with ENCL and a big applause for Praveen sir for taking ENCL effectively with the same effectiveness the way Rakesh sir was doing. Thank you sir. Good.
Okay, good morning to all of you, and I would have said the same. Thank you college, thank you principal, and thank you the ENCL team. Fantastic outcome. I think the way things have got organized so far and the way you are seeing them dressed up, set up, It looks nice. There has been a lot of effort that has gone in. I'm audible to all of you? Okay. So I'll try to take about 30 minutes of yours and try and share a few things just in order to highlight what is the importance of what we are trying to do right now. Okay? Since we started with the national anthem, I thought I'll just change the script a little. All of you have heard about a country called Israel, right? Israel today is known as the startup capital of the world. One of the things we saw today in our national anthem was all of our words were written in English, right? One thing which you might not know about Israel, that Israel वैसे is a community-based country. But one of the interesting things that they have done is that they were spread across the world, they were Jews, and they had a language called Hebrew. I visited Israel a few times, so I had this opportunity of learning. Hebrew as a language was known to only about a few thousand people in 1948 when they got independence. And Hebrew was not a language which people would speak. As they created the country and brought everybody into Israel, you will not believe, it is in the last 60 years that they have made Hebrew the national language of the country. And every kid now talks in Hebrew, knows Hebrew, and they have literally rejuvenated a language. It's very odd. Normally what you would see is that people will go with, say, a language called English or something else, whatever is contemporary. But the possessiveness with which the entire country and the community has looked at reviving a language is brilliant. Today every instruction in that country is with Hebrew. Everything they say is in Hebrew. This is how a group of people with a common agenda can make a change. That's what we need to learn. Forget the community part of it and things like that. But what's important is that there are certain things in the past that every group has created or rejuvenated, it needs to be leveraged. And we can make that. So I'll start with the first slide. We're talking today about an orientation to the Innovators Club. Okay. For all those who are not able to see the light blue font, I think with the lights you'll be able to see it. But anyone can tell me what this is? It says Purnamida, Purnamidam, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. How many of you have heard of this one? Hands up. Excellent. We have two people here. This is the first shloka of Rig Veda. Okay? It talks about something called Purna. What it says is, if you take away Purna from Purna, what will be left is Purna. If you take away something from something, what is left is something. What does this talk about? Do you know this is the classical definition of what? Okay, tell me one quantity from which if you take away that quantity remains. Yes. This is the first definition of zero that the world knew. It was the first shloka of Rig Veda. This is there with us in our ancestry. This is there with us, which we do not know. Why? Because we do not know the language. Why? Because we don't study it anymore. A science student has to study whatever comes his way and then figure out what is great about it. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. First slide. This is a step well. A well with steps. Can you imagine this? Next. This is a Buddhist stupa. What is unique about this one? There are no pillars inside it. It's an excellent explanation of cantilever. The entire brick supports another brick, and through cantilever they create the entire stupa. Understood? Okay. Next. If you have gone to Rajasthan and seen some Dilwara temples, which are created by the Jain civilization, or you can say the entire people who believe in Jainism, there are pillars which have where you can actually take clothes from below. They are actually pillarless temples. At least one pillar is left inside, half built or built, which is not touching the ground. It's a pillar which comes from the top. As civil engineers, does this need technology? Can you think about what those people were thinking when they were building this? Let's look at the next image. See this one. Any guesses? What is this?
Toilet.
Okay, in the interest of time. This was found in Mohenjo-daro.
Commode.
This is the first underground water flush for a public urinal system? You can imagine it? There's water flowing from the bottom, and it's a public urinal system. Next. This is known as Boots steel. This is a steel that was made only in India. Its technology has now been lost. Some adaptations of that is there. It has very fine types of prints on the steel. It was used for making weapons. Next. All those who've gone to Delhi have seen this stupa? This pillar you have seen? This pillar is made out of bronze. This was made how many years back? More than 1,000 years. What does that mean? Metallurgy and mixing two metals was done at that time? Yes, it hasn't rusted as of now. Next. This is known as a Damascus sword. Swords used to be imported from Damascus. It's also made out of Boots steel. About 70 years back, we realized this is actually made originally in a village in Tamil Nadu. It is a forgotten art. Okay? Next. This is how bronze is made and is given in the Rasayan Shastra. Obviously, we can't read the thing above. What are we going to say? Bronze is obtained by melting 8 parts of copper and 2 parts of tin. Tin is also not a regular metal. This is available. Next. This is Koshi Yantra, the way you actually do metallurgy in a local body. You must have seen some people, in the villages. They wear low hair like this, and then there is this metal melting and smelting that they do. Next. What is the loss during heating various precious metals? It's given in this. Silver 2%, tin 8%, lead 5%. How do you think this was possible? How many years back was all this? More than 1,000 years. It is given. Do we read this to know it? Next. Okay, this is interesting. Can anyone guess what is this? Wild guess, someone knows? Achha, how does it look like? Let me try and compare this to Diwali. What does this look like? The first rockets, this is known as the Mysore rocket, which was created under Tipu Sultan's leadership. Mysore rockets were the first rockets that were created in the world. We created it with the collaboration of the French in 1700s, and this was the most lethal weapon that was being used by Tipu Sultan. That is the reason the British could not invade us or invade this state. Finally, something else gave in, but these rockets used to move and would have splinters in it, and that's how they used to cause harm to the other armies. What is the residual of that rocket remaining today? The Diwali rocket which we use. And where is it produced? Sivakas. Get the point? Explosive mixtures. Next. How many are from south of India? Tamilians, how many are here? एक ही है, दूसरा आधा है, श्योर नहीं है, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, two are here, doesn't matter. Okay, from Tamil Nadu. This person's name is BOC. Who was BOC? Again, a part of our history which we do not pay attention to. BOC was the first person who created an entire public navigation system and ships in India. These ships used to move from Gujarat all the way till Andaman and Nicobar. He did it just about 110 years back. He was an industrialist and he was finally arrested by the British and given life imprisonment because he dared to challenge the English fleet. BOC is a very big name in south of India, at least for the folks who stay there. Find out more. When Vasco da Gama was coming over to India, he stopped at South Africa. He was met by our Gujarati merchants. They were already there. For Vasco da Gama, he was coming here for the first time. Our folks were sitting there and doing stuff. Gujarati bhai hai, business karega, right? He doesn't care. And he had bigger ships than what Vasco da Gama had. And he was surprised. Right? What is this community? Which is this country? Their ships are bigger than mine. And he used one of our Indian ships and he came back. The shipbuilding industry is one of the oldest industries in this country. When Kanoji Angre created the entire battle, I would say the whole navy of Maharashtra, the first navy that we know of, there was already a navy existing in Assam. Lachit Borphukan used to own that navy. He was the one who defeated Aurangzeb's army. We had river boats and we had sea boats. And that's why shipbuilding even today is big. Next. You would have seen him in most of our labs. Poor thing, he looks upon us from the top. Anyone knows who he is? Excellent. His name is Jagdish Chandra Bose. He is the creator of microwaves. Not a microwave oven. It uses microwave. But the microwave which finally was gone ahead and used up for an invention known as communication. When J.C. Bose was asked why is it that you are not going ahead and paying a patent for it, he went ahead and said, "अरे ये तो दुनिया में already है, मैंने सिर्फ discover किया है, इससे बड़ी बात क्या है?" And in today's contemporary stuff, anyone who gets a chance to file a patent will file a patent. This is what J.C. Bose was. Just about 100 years. Next. Pythagoras theorem सुना है सबने? Sums गलत किए हैं उसने? There was a farmer by the name Bodhayan. He was the original creator of Pythagoras theorem. He was having a land fight with somebody else. His field was probably at a different distance from another brother's field. When they cut the two fields together, he figured out कि इसके hypotenuse से देखेंगे तो मेरे तीसरे भाई की field निकल के आती है. He gave the sutra. The sutra is known to us. Next. Area of triangle. It is lying with us since a very long time. It is not half into breadth into height. It is what is given here in the formula. Next. Units of angle. We were able to measure not in degrees, in nano degrees. Nano degrees has a very big impact on space navigation. All of this is there. Next. Doctors तो है नहीं यहाँ पे, पर आप जाते होंगे. These look like instruments. You know who was the creator of these instruments and the diagrams? You find the name of the hospital nowadays here around. His name was Sushruta. Sushruta was the first person who created about 56 diagrams of various instruments used for plastic surgery. These diagrams are there. Scalpel, scissor, everything has been made from it. It has existed. But our friends who came and invaded us allowed us not to remember all this. Our disposition has changed. And it was all 1,000 years back. Next. Astronomy, you're not able to see it, but basically we knew. You celebrated Makar Sankranti? Makar Sankranti means what? Tilgud. Huh? Makar Sankranti means what? There is sun, there is the earth. When the earth is moving around the sun and comes behind a set of stars, which are in the Makar Rashi. Likewise, around the sun there is a constellation of stars. Right? Makar, Dhanu, Tula, so on and so forth. All the 12 signs that you know. The sun is in the middle of all these stars around. And the earth is going around the sun. Imagine, there is the sun. When the earth is in front of the sun and the sun is in front of Makar, it is Makar Sankranti. Ram was born on one of these tithis. So if Ram was supposedly born on Makar Sankranti, at that time, some person in this country knew that there is the sun, there is the earth and the stars are far away and that the earth moves around the sun. ये हमें पता है, ये हम सोचते हैं. Astrology has existed since years, centuries, which means we know planetary motions, but we don't connect with it. Next. You must have seen this in Jaipur, planetary movement measurements. Next. Speed of light, already given. We already know what is the amount of time it takes for light to move from here to the sun and come back. Only thing is we call it as Surya Dev or we call it as Hanuman and things like that. In fact, if you read Tulsinath Ramayana, there is also one shlok which just tells about how much distance he travelled, Yojan. And that is the exact distance between us and Sri Lanka. When we start seeing it with the blinded eye of some religion and all that, everything goes for a toss. This is science here. This is basic stuff that is there. Next. Units and measurement. Our measurements are far more micro in nature. Next. Okay, planetary motion. Go ahead. So what is the big thing around it? This was all created by technocrats. But how come when we start to look at, other than J.C. Bose, we are not able to mention any single name in the last 100, 200 years? ये सब पुराना है, अरे पुराना बहुत अच्छा था. Everybody is happy about it. Our past was great. But what is our present? Our present is in bad shape. Because the only primary reason we are not doing well as a country is because we stopped innovating. It's not complicated to innovate. But it's just that we are not applying ourselves. We are not looking for change. We are not trying to find something new. We are not trying to create something new. We are happy with what is happening. This innovation has to continue, has to start. And when that starts, and starts from here, is when things start changing. A 1.25 billion people can innovate at a much better success rate than probably 12 million people, 24 million people that exist in a country called Israel? Absolutely. The proportions are very much with us. But it says we are not innovating. And through this cell, that's the thing that we are trying to do. Because today, the situations have worsened. You are all engineers, you have your parents who have hard work, made sure that while they are running auto rickshaws or they are doing menial jobs, they have got you here to do your engineering. But do you know what you are headed towards? Let's look at a few statistics. India today had done a survey. Only 7% of engineering graduates in this country are employable. And it is a fact. When companies come to hire you, they find you guys not employable. That's the reason they are not able to offer better salaries to you. And that's the reason they are not able to offer good jobs to you. Obviously, you know, you are in the 93 or in the 7. Now, if this is the statistics against which you are fighting, you can imagine where you are headed. 4 saal ke baad, that moment for which your father or your mother is waiting, that mummy, papa, I got a job. That moment is not very close. They have invested their hard-earned life, they have invested their hard-earned time and money on you. And what you are doing is getting certified. You are not becoming an engineer because you are not employable. Next. Then we have the next phenomenon. अच्छा engineering में कुछ नहीं हो तो post graduation कर लेते हैं, MBA करेंगे. Graduation में तो कुछ पता नहीं है, post graduation करने चले. Then you come out as an MBA. And when you come out as an MBA, you are even more lost because now 9 out of 10 people don't know what to do. Some people go for MTech.